For the record, this isn't financial advice, so do your own due diligence.
Hey, welcome back.
Please be sure to follow me on all my social media accounts. You are now watching I Got That Crypto. Shouts out to all my new subscribers. You guys rock. What up, folks? It's your boy, I Got That Crypto, back at it again. Today is December 2nd. We're taking a look at the 1 minute Bitcoin futures. Not too much action, folks. We're pretty much in this kind of state, like do or die period, where we're really kind of hovering between 7,800 around here. Let's see here, 7,800 to about 6,800 within that $1,000 channel. It's really tight. It's a lot of chop up and down, hard to long, hard to short, and painful to hodl through. If you got them, hold them. I would say that. But just based off what I'm seeing here in the past, and the past for me, I don't care what anybody says, is a fairly good indicator in terms of how the future will play out. I'm looking at this period here between November and essentially July. We can either be stuck in this zone for up until the halving, essentially, or Bitcoin. The sentiment for Bitcoin right now is pretty low. A lot of people are down on Bitcoin, so there's a good chance that we could go down lower. And if we do, we can kind of expect to just plummet right back down to 3,000. That's when I think we'll be tested. Bitcoin will be tested again. And if we do go past 3,000, then it's really anybody's game. I'm sure you guys have heard all these crazy numbers: $300 Bitcoin, $600 Bitcoin. I'm just licking my chops. If that happens, I'm scooping up as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. Only because I know that it's just, institutional investors, every time Bitcoin drops, the interest as far as like the back metrics show that institutions are just gobbling it up, right? So like I called it the other day, just looking at the back bot, the daily metrics here, you'll notice that on any kind of Bitcoin drop, anytime Bitcoin drops, there's always an increase in backed, essentially, in institutional investing. So like, for example, they just hit another record recently on the 22nd of November. And if you go back to here, November 22nd of November, right there, bam. So Bitcoin drops and there's a big spike in institutional interest, right? So that's not a coincidence. Institutional investors are going to want to buy Bitcoin on the cheap. Meanwhile, retail investors, especially at this time of year, are just looking to get out of Bitcoin, mainly because it's like the holidays. I know there's you can't put too much weight on external factors like holidays and whatnot, but the reality is that a lot of people just want Christmas money, for their presents and all that stuff. So that's a real factor. I for one, I've got, double digits in the Bitcoin, so I can hold through this. I did a fair amount of shorting earlier. I did a lot of shorting during this range here from, let's see here, early November, until about mid-November was shorting. And I don't normally short, but in this case I had to, because the rate at which Bitcoin was dropping was so fast that it exceeded my funding rate. So any of the interest I had to pay back was easily covered with the rate of how fast Bitcoin was plummeting. Now I'll short again if we do happen to break this, go further down the line here, but that's going to be still pretty risky, all things considered. So I don't know, we gotta just play it by ear. The last thing I want though is just kind of things to go sideways. Really, if you look at the sentiment for Bitcoin as it is now, this is just the sentiment over time from like December 7th, 2014 all the way up to present day. And it just seems like the max Bitcoin interest was back when we had that massive bull run, in late 2017. So since then, it's really just kind of been blah. The sentiment all across crypto has been really low. Those who are trading it, like I'm watching people trading it now, and people are just saying crypto is dead market. Yeah, I don't blame them. There's not much activity happening, and so whatever. The next thing is that we have to look forward to. The next big event is really going to be the halving, which I think When's that happening? I thought I had that on there, but I think it's like 164 days away, something like that, in May 2020. So that should be pretty interesting. And what makes this halving different from the rest is that we've never approached a halving on the downtrend before. It's usually we always come up on a halving on an uptrend. So I'd be curious to see how this is going to kind of transpire when it's all said and done. Meanwhile, if you just take a look at the shorts versus longs, it's pretty much dead even at this point. I mean, it's up and down. There's really no real momentum one way or the other. So we're pretty much at a holding pattern, guys. And yeah, just try to get some Bitcoin if you can, or I mean, it's not financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. For me, I'm holding off on buying any more Bitcoin until if we do drop lower, then I might reconsider it. But at this current time, here we go. Yeah, so the 164 days, and there's about a little over 18 million Bitcoins in circulation right now. There's a total of like 21 million that will ever be generated. So yeah, so things are looking pretty good. 86% is already out there. Yeah, it's pretty much we're in that do or die period. But enough for me. What I have to say, I'm curious what you guys have to say in terms of the current market. Will Bitcoin maintain its dominance? Will it crash and burn? What's your price predictions for 2020? Go ahead and just slap a comment down below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm also on Twitter, so if you guys want to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, that would be perfect. And go ahead and check me out on YouTube. I've got tons of episodes. I try to release content at least once every couple weeks. Yeah, but anyway, I'd be curious to know what you guys have to say about this market. And that's all I got for today. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, peace out.
Like and subscribe.